So, I recently saw an action adventure Chinese epic called Creation of the Gods 2 Demon Force. And despite never seeing the first movie, Kingdom of Storms, I was able to follow perfectly fine what was going on in the second movie. So, the basic plot of the second film is that a sickly emperor is wanting to squash a rebellion that is happening in a neighboring kingdom. So one of his longtime generals coming back from a multi-year campaign decides he wants to retire, and the emperor allows him to retire. So one of his general's daughters who died in combat, his daughter decides that she wants to take up the mantle and lead the army to squash the rebellion. And that is the basic plot of the film. Now, of course, there's a lot more stuff going on in the movie than just that, but that's the basic story of what's going on in the movie. So, this film is a very interesting movie because it's basically like the best way I can try to describe it is like you took like an anime like Naruto or something like that, but you made it live action. And that's basically kind of like what this movie is. It's like a live action adventure epic, and it's pretty incredible. So in this film, there's all kinds of stuff in this movie. Like there's giants, there's like this little green goblin thing. Like each of these giants have like different weapons that do different things. And like even this old guy over here, he has like this mythological creature thing he rides on, and people got different powers, and it's pretty wild. So the behind the scenes story of the film is pretty interesting because they shot it they shot three movies back to back, basically like how they did Lord of the Rings. In fact, they even had some of the people who worked on Lord of the Rings actually consult on the film, and each actor had to essentially do like a 3 year boot camp in order to get them ready for the movies. So they learned how to ride horseback, they learned how to use swords, how to shoot a bow and arrow, how to speak Mandarin. Like this woman right here, like her native language is actually Russian, but she actually spent 3 years learning how to do Mandarin to the point where she could speak it basically fluently, which is pretty interesting when you compare it to other films like, say, Emilia Perez, where you have Selena Gomez, who can't even speak Spanish, versus something like this, where you got somebody learning a completely different language to the point where they can speak fluently. it really speaks to just the amount of dedication that they took in this for this movie in order for the actors to be to where they at, in order to perform on screen, to do everything that was required of them. So the way I saw this film was in a format called 40X, where the seats are like rocking back and forth. There's all kinds of different effects going on throughout the film, and it's a pretty exciting way to see movies. And I have to say that this is up there as being one of the best 40X experiences I've had so far in this format, which is saying something because I've seen a lot of films in this format, and I would definitely say that this is up there as being one of the best. And there's all kinds of stuff going on in this movie that the way they synced it up and the intensity of it was really good. Like there's this horseback scene right here where they got you galloping on in the seats along to what's happening in that scene. There's like there's scene where they have like hand to hand combat, and like this the way the seats are like rocking, matching the motions, and the intensity of it is really great. There's even this sequence where there's like a fire tornado that's happening at one point in the movie, and like the way that like the lights like light up on the side of the auditorium to simulate the thunder like in rapid succession was really pretty fantastic. So if you have a 40X theater in your area, which there's not that many of them around the country, certain places got quite a few of them, and some places don't have hardly any of them at all. But if you do have a 40X in your area and this movie is playing in it, I honestly could not recommend enough to see this movie in that format because it just enhances it to a completely different level. So yes, I would highly recommend checking this movie out in 40X in regular format or however this is playing near you. This is a high recommend for me. If you love action adventure stories, this is definitely one of the best that I've seen in quite some time. And if you're a lover of over the top anime type of action, this is probably about the best you're gonna get this year. And it definitely makes me want to go back and check out the first movie in this series. And I'm eagerly anticipating the third film in this franchise. But yeah, that's my review of this movie. Definitely high recommend. Check it out if you have it playing in your area.